So hello everybody, I went to Guitar Summit again, which is pretty close to where I live in a city called Mannheim, and it takes me the same amount of time to go there from where I live to the venue in Mannheim as I need from a hotel in Berlin to go to Superbooth. So why not have a visit there? And it's the second year I visited that happening because it's interesting to see how guitar players celebrate their event and what is a comparison to the Superbooth. But I'm also very interested in all the guitar pedals that you can get, which is pretty similar to Eurorack, and you can also use them with Eurorack or other synthesizers and combine them, and they have nice knobs like Eurorack as well. So you get the idea of the fascination. And one absolute positive thing about this happening is that it's totally silent. It's not like Superbooth where it beeps and bleeps in every corner of every room. No, everything is with headphones, and that's really awesome to be there. Even all the demos are with headphones, and this creates a really nice atmosphere to talk to the people. And yeah, as expected, you see many different guitars in all forms and shapes, and it's just nice to look at them, even if you're not a player. I play a little bit guitar and a little bit of bass, so I'm a little bit curious as well. But nevertheless, just looking at them is also very beautiful. So you find all the big names as well as many boutique manufacturers, and also like Superbooth, they are the most interesting. They have lots of new ideas always with them. But one company missing was Boss, similar to Superbooth. Roland is missing there as well, which is really sad and a shame, and I don't know why. If you know why, just tell me down in the comments about that. And yeah, Yamaha was also there, and close by was Line 6, and their latest effect board is quite interesting, the Helix Stadium, and it features a nice touch display as well as displays on each button, so you know where your presets are. And this is something I would like to see more on synthesizers as well. And the familiar company Polyend was there as well, because they're doing now also guitar pedals. So they have three guitar pedals, which one is more like a drum machine, but nevertheless interesting as well to see. And another familiar company, Arturia, was there as well. I'm not sure if you can even call this a booth. It's more like a wall. And yeah, there was zero interested in there, and I don't know, there was no person and nothing. But this is what the fair is about for me, is pedals. And the great thing, which would also be great to see at Superbooth, is that you could test all of these pedals. Every manufacturer had a testing station or multiple testing stations where you had headphones, two headphones if you are there with a friend, and you had a guitar ready, and you could check out all the pedals. So just take the guitar, take the headphones, and test all these pedals to your heart's alike. And the great thing is you can try to combine them. And I also got inspired to create new sounds with synthesizers, and that's really cool. And another familiar company, Strymon, with the big sky, was there as well. And I was especially impressed with the effects from Earthquake devices. And some things to have a closer look at is the Rainbow Machine. It's a kind of pitch shifter with delay, and I'm not sure what it really does. It says magic, and it just sounded epic, especially if you combine it with the Bit Commander, which is a very harsh bit crusher. So if you're more in the distorted noise domain, definitely check that one out as well. Two more interesting things, kind of endless feedback reverb, the Astral Destiny, and I fed that into a kind of chorus called C Machine pedal, and this sounded also absolutely amazing, and I need to replicate this at home as well with some other effects. And you got some popcorn, some bloody popcorn in between. And there were plenty of giveaways, by the way, more on other fairs where you nearly get nothing. And you found some other interesting things. So with K&M, you get a beer holder in case you need that for your next gig, or some jewel cases for your plaques, and lots of plaques in all shapes and forms and colors and materials. And going more on the higher level. So there were 4 levels of this exhibition, and the top levels featured more the acoustic domain of all kind of string instruments, so acoustic basses, acoustic guitars. You could even buy the wood for the guitars if you're into the game of creating your own guitars. They have covered you, and more silent concerts there as well. So this is really cool. Lots of headphones. You just grab one and can listen to the concerts and demos. But coming now to the weird stuff, which is interesting to synthesizer guys and girls as well. So a device I already looked at last year, which is a playback device. So the B-Beat, and features some new things. It can play loops as well. And you have now a foot pedal with that where you can control that. So if you're playing into a little cover band or a project where you are alone or only 2 people and have some playback tracks, this thing got you covered. And they even have a bigger model which has also some general MIDI sounds as well as the default things, basses, guitars and synthesizer sounds and all these things. So it's an external sound module but with this playback capability. And the only thing I would see missing on this is that you can load in your own sounds and your own samples. If you would have that, it would be great for me for my little cover project. And yeah, that's a web address, so check that out for yourself. Also, Mortrix, I think a company you might have seen in the synthesizer business, they have a very interesting MIDI pedal, which allows you to send all kinds of MIDI messages by the press of a button, and you can configure everything to your heart's alike. And the most interesting and funny product is from, I think, a Chinese company called Enya Music, and they have a kind of crossover between keyboard, a guitar with guitars. So you can press the frets to trigger chords and play to that on the keyboard, or you can play a rhythm on the keyboard and then it triggers the chord you are pressing on this fretboard. It looks a bit like a cheap toy, at least that one, but it felt pretty good, and it's definitely not in a toy price range. It should be about 800 euro. And there's also an exchange part for where the keyboard is located, where you can only hammer on it and play rhythms to that. The sounds in it sounded pretty professional, not like a cheap toy thing. And yeah, if you want to have some fun, check that out. Yeah, and more silent concerts. This is more like the opposite of air guitar. And there were also some more or less well-known guys doing demos. So the bass player from Anthrax was there, and he told for half an hour stories of his life and then played one song. So yeah, why not? And also Tweedle Spa, so the son of Frank Zappa, played songs from his father, quite nice, and explained the sounds, how you can recreate Zappa sounds nowadays with Marshall amps and Marshall pedals, and quite nice to watch and get some tips. So that was it. So if you're into guitars, it's definitely worth a visit. And even if you are not and you live close by, it's worth having a stroll around this fair and visit the city of Mannheim. So until next year, make some funky music.